Dear students, so we are started our lecture number 19, that is pre-undamped longitudinal vibration of 2-degree freedom system. We are going to see some example on that, on pre-undamped longitudinal vibration of 2 degrees of freedom system. This is the second lecture in unit number 3, that is 2-degree freedom system undamped vibration. So we are started with our first example or first problem. So our first problem is like this: determine the natural frequencies of the system as shown in figure. So this is a figure which is given in problem, so which consists of 3 springs, so it having stiffness K1, K and K2, and there are 2 masses M1 and M2. So M1 is displaced by displacement x1 and M2 is displaced by displacement x2. So this is the figure which is given in the problem. Given that K1 is equals to K2, which is equals to 40 Newton per meter. So K1 and K2, the values of K1 and K2 is given, which is 40 Newton per meter, and the value of K is given, that is 60 Newton per meter, and the masses are given. So both masses are same. M1 is equals to M2, which is equals to given 10 kg. We have to find out, or we have to determine the natural frequency of the system. Now this type of problem which is asked in exam, which is generally up to 10 marks, this type of problem will be asked in exam. So solution. So we are going to start our solution. So consider a spring mass system as shown in figure having 2 degrees of freedom system, because it having 2 masses and it requires 2 independent coordinate, that is x1 and x2. So the following assumptions which are made while analysis of 2 degrees of freedom system. First assumption is the masses are constrained to move in a direction of spring axis. Second is the given springs are weightless, and third is the value of x2 is greater than x1, that is the displacement of mass m2 is greater than that of the displacement of mass m1. So this is our mean position or displaced position, mean position or equilibrium position. So we know that this is the displaced position. So K1 is in tension, K2 is in tension, and K3 is in compression. So these are the forces which are same as that of the problem or the derivation we have seen in last lecture. We have considered this spring as K1, this spring as K2, and this spring as K3. Now, as per our problem, this K1 is equals to K1. It is same given. This K3 is given as K2, and this K2 is taken as K as per our problem. But we are started with our general problem statement having K1, K2 and K3. These are the terms. So this is x1 is the displacement in downward direction, x2 also displacement in downward direction. So this is inertia force which is in upward direction for mass m1. This is inertia force for mass m2, it is also in upward direction. Then this spring which is opposite to displacement, so k1 x1. Then this is the forces, so k2 into x2 minus x1. This is the spring force of spring K2 for first mass it is downward direction, and for second mass it is upward direction. And K3x2 will be the spring force for third spring. Because of compression, the displacement is in upward direction. The displacement is in upward direction. So now from FBD, we have two motions, or FPD. From free body diagram of two masses M1 and M2, there are two differential equation of motion. So this is first differential equation. This is inertia force M1 x1 double dot plus K1 x1 minus K2 into x2 minus x1 is equals to 0. So because of these three forces, in that this force is positive because upward direction, this is positive and this is negative for first equation of motion. For second, all these three forces are positive. All these three forces are positive. So what is our equation? First equation is M1 x1 double dot plus K1 x1 minus K2 in bracket x2 minus x1 is equals to 0. Now after simplifying, we get M1 x1 double dot plus, now x1 चा term common है, so x1 K1 is common, minus minus plus, so plus K2, K1 plus K2 into x1 minus K2 into x2 is equals to 0. So we are taking common term as x1. Next, similarly, we have second free body diagram, and from the second free body diagram of mass M2, we get M2 x2 double dot plus K2 x2 minus x1 plus K3 into x2 is equals to 0. So put that value. So M2 x2 double dot. Now take common term as x2. So K2 plus K3 into x2 minus K2 into x1 is equals to 0. So this is the equation number 1 and 2. These are the two differential equation for equation of motion of the system. Now assuming the masses M1 and M2 will execute a harmonic vibration at an frequency of omega. Therefore, the solution of x1 and x2, small x1 and x2 under steady state condition is given by x1 is equals to capital X1 sine of omega t. That is displacement of mass M1. It is given as x1 is equals to capital X1 sine of omega t because of it having a harmonic vibration. Similarly, we get the value of x2. Similarly, we have the value of x2 as capital X2 sine of omega t. So this is equation number 3 and 4. Now we are requiring x1 double dot and x2 double dot. Now where this x1 and x2, this capital X1 and x2 be the amplitude of vibration of these two masses M1 and M2 under steady state condition. So we require x1 double dot and we require x2 double dot. So we have to double differentiating this equation number 3 and 4. So after differentiating equation number 3 twice, we get x1 double dot is equals to minus x1 omega square sine of omega t. How it will get? The first derivative of sine omega t is cos omega t, and into derivative of omega t, it is omega. X1 is the common term, constant term. So x1 will be the outside of the derivative. So only the derivative of sine omega t. Now what is sine omega t derivative? It is sine omega t, derivative of sine omega t is cos omega t, and derivative of omega t is omega. So omega cos omega t, and again we differentiating cos omega t. So we get cos having derivative minus sine. So minus x1 omega square sine of omega t. Similarly, the x2 double dot, differentiating equation number 4 twice. So we get minus x2 omega square sine of omega t. So these are the x1 double dot and x2 double dot. Now substitute equation number 3 and 4 and equation number 5 in equation number 1 we get. Now what is your equation number 1? It is m1 x1 double dot. So m1 is this. Now what is value of x1 double dot? It is minus capital X1 omega square sine of omega t. So minus x1 omega square sine of omega t. So this is the other term. Plus there is k1 plus k2 into small x1. So k1 plus k2 into small x1 is capital X1 sine of omega t. Minus k2 x2 minus k2. What is value of x2? x2 is capital X2 sine of omega t. So again this sine of omega t, and this sine of omega t is equals to 0. So this sine omega t gets cancelled. So again take x1 term common. So this x1 term is common in this factor and in this factor. So k1 plus k2 minus m1 into omega square into x1 is equals to this minus k2 x2 is goes to right hand side, so that becomes k2 x2. So x1 upon x2 is equals to, so x1 divided by x2 is equals to k2 divided by k1 plus k2 minus m1 omega square. So this is your equation number 7. Similarly, we have to put value of equation 3 and 4 and equation number 6 in equation number 2. So m2 x2 double dot. So what is value of x2 double dot? This is m2. x2 double dot value is minus capital X2 sine of omega t plus k2 k3 into x2. So k2 plus k3 into x2 is capital X2 sine of omega t minus k2 into x1 small x1. So what is value of small x1? It is capital X1 sine of omega t. So again is equals to 0. Sine omega t gets cancelled. So remaining term is, now there is x2 is term into these two terms, there is common term is x2. So k2 plus k3 minus m2 omega square is equal to x2 is equals to this k2 into x1 goes to right hand side. So we get x1 upon x2 is equals to this k2 plus k3 divided by this k2. So your x1 upon x2 is equals to k2 plus k3 minus m2 omega square divided by k2. This is equation number 8. Now from equation 7 and 8, we say that left hand side is same, that is x1 upon x2. But so therefore we can equate this equation number 7 and 8. So by equating equation number 7 and 8, we get cross multiplication. So this is first equation which is equals to this equation. So after cross multiplication we get k2 into k2 square, and this k1 plus k2 minus m1 omega square is multiplied by with k2 plus k3 into minus m2 omega square. So k1 plus k2 minus m1 omega square plus k2 plus k3 minus m2 omega square is equal to k2 square. So in last derivation also we have solved this. So we get the term m1 m2 omega raised to 4, then m1 into k2 plus k3 plus m2 into k1 plus k2 into omega square plus k1 k2 k2 k3 and k3 k1 is equals to 0. This is quadratic equation we have seen in last lecture also. It is same as that of this because we have considered the same equation, same constant. So this above equation, it is in quadratic equation which is in omega square. So there are two positive values of omega which gives the natural frequencies omega n1 and omega n2. So now what is our case? So in problem it is given that m1 is equals to m2 is equals to m. Both masses are same. And again in problem it is given that the value of k1 and k3, it is the value of k which is given, that is equals to 40 Newton per meter. K1 and K3, it having a values of 40 Newton meter square, and the value of K2 is given as 60 Newton per meter. So after putting that value, what will happen? So we get m into m square omega raised to 4 minus m1, that is nothing but the m. Now K2 plus K3. Now what is the value of K2 plus K3? K2 is value same, K3 is the value of K. So K plus K2 into omega square. So this is K2. So the value of K2 is given as same, K2. Again we have to put that value, all this value, that is m1 m2 is equals to m, K1 K3 as K, and both masses are same. So this m, sorry, so this is m in bracket, the value of K2 is same, K2, value of K3 is K, so K2 plus K, plus what is value of m2? M2 is again m, and what is value of K1? K1 is K plus K2. So this m K plus K2 plus m K plus K2, so that becomes 2m K plus K2 omega square, plus now what is value of K1 K2? So K1 into K2, it becomes K K2, what is value of K2 plus K3? So K2 plus K3 becomes K K2, again same, and what is value of K1 plus K3? So K1 plus K3 is equals to K, so K into K, K square. So that becomes K square plus this K K2 plus K K2, that becomes 2K K2 is equals to 0. Now what will happen? So after simplifying, we get omega square is equals to, so divide this equation by m square, so that becomes, this becomes m square, and this becomes also m square. Now this is equation having ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. This is an quadratic equation, but is in omega square, because it is in omega raised to 4. So root is in omega square. So omega square is equals to minus b. So minus minus plus. So this is value of b. Then this is value of c. And the value of a is 1. Or we can taken as, this is same value. So 2 into m square. We can taken as value of m also. So omega square is equals to, now what is value of b? B is value of this. So minus minus plus 2m k1 plus k plus k2 plus or minus square root of b square. So what is value of b square? This value square. So that becomes 4m square k plus k2. This is not k1, k plus k2 square minus 4ac. So minus 4. What is value of a? A is m square into c. What is value of c? K square plus 2k plus k square plus 2k into k2 divided by twice a. So what is value of twice into a value is m. So divide this by this equation. So 2m k plus k2 divided by 2m square plus or minus square root of 4m square k plus k2 square minus 4m square k square plus 2k2 k2 upon 2m square. So this 2 get cancel, this m get cancel. So remaining term is k plus k2 upon m plus or minus. Now if we taken the term, this is 4m square. Now this is k1 plus k2 square. So that becomes, so this is not k1. So that becomes k square plus 2k into k2. That is a square plus b square. Sorry, a plus b bracket square, it is nothing but the a square plus twice ab plus b square. So k square plus 2k k2 plus k2 square. Again 4m square is common. So we have taken common as 4m square. So in bracket it becomes k square plus 2k k2 plus k square minus, now minus into this term. So minus k square, again minus 2k k2 2k. So k square get cancelled, 2k k2 get cancelled plus or minus. So remaining term is only k2 square. So k2 square and square root of k2 square is, so remaining term is 4m square into k2 square. So that is nothing but the 4's square root 2, then m square's square root is m, that is 2m, and k2 square's square root is k2. So 2m k2 divided by 2m square. So m get cancelled. So remaining term is this 2 again get cancelled. So remaining term is k2 upon m. So this is value of omega square. So what is value of omega square? Again m is common. So k plus k2 plus or minus k2 plus divided by m. Now what is value of omega n square now? Now first root is k plus k2 minus, now put the value all that value. So we get, so first value is, so k plus k2 minus k2. So first term we have taken minus k2 and second term plus k2. So k plus k2 minus k2. So k2 minus k2 becomes 0. That will cancel. And term is first equation, that becomes k by m. Omega n square is equals to k by m. Similarly, k plus k2 plus k2. So that becomes k plus 2k2 upon m. So this is the second value of natural frequencies, that is omega n2 square. So therefore omega n1 is equal to square root of k by m. So square root of k is 40 divided by 10. So that is becomes 2 radian per second. And omega n2 is equal to square root of k plus 2k2 upon m. So k is 40 plus 2 into k2. So value of k2 is 60 upon 10. That becomes 4 radian per second. So this is the general solution, or we have find out the differential equation of the motion also, and we have find out the natural frequency of the system. So this is our first problem, to find out the natural frequency of the system. Now we are going to see our next problem. So what is our next problem? Derive the differential equation of motion for the system as shown in figure. So we have to find out the differential equation of the system. it is given that the M1 is equals to 20 kg, then value of M2 is equals to 35 kg, and the value of K is equals to 3000 Newton per meter. So determine first natural frequencies, second the amplitude ratio of two modes, and third principal mode shapes. So we have to find out these three values, that is value of omega n1 and omega n2. Next we have to find out the value of x1 upon x2 for first mode and x1 upon x2 for second mode, and we have to draw the mode diagram, that is principal mode shapes. So we have to draw the diagram for principal mode shapes. So this is the given diagram, that is M1 is given, then there is a spring, and this is M2. Now M1 is moving with displacement of x1 and M2 is moving with displacement of x2. Again, there are some assumptions. So that is mass will be moved along the direction of spring axis only. Second is the spring having weightless, the spring is weightless, and third is x2 should be greater than x1. So these are the three assumptions which are common for all problems. So what will happen? So this is x1. So x1 is the displacement. Now this is original diagram and this is displaced diagram. So this is my original mean position, and after displacement, so this is x1 will be the displacement, it in right hand side also, and x2 is the displacement from mean position to displaced position. This is x2. So because x2 is greater than x1, so this spring it is in tensile condition. Now we have to, this is your equilibrium position and this is your second diagram is your displaced position. Now we have to draw the free body diagram for masses M1 and M2 for displaced position. So what is free body diagram? Now x1 is the displacement which is in right hand side. So inertia force, that is M1 into x1 double dot, it is in opposite side. So this is inertia force which is opposite to the displacement or acceleration. So it is M1 x1 double dot. So displacement is in right hand side, so velocity is also in the right hand side, x1 dot, and acceleration is also in right hand side, so x1 double dot. So inertia force, that is mass into acceleration, that is m1 into x1 double dot, opposite. Then this is the spring force direction. This is the spring force direction which opposes the displacement, So k into x2 minus x1. So k is the steepness and the total displacement is x2 minus x1. So k x2 minus x1 into, for mass m2, if we see, sorry. So if we see the mass m2, so it is x2 is in right hand side. So the inertia force m2 x2 double dot, it is in left hand side, and this is force. Now we are taking this inertia force direction as positive. So for m1 this is positive, this is negative. For m2 this is positive, this is also positive. This is positive, this is positive, this is positive, this is negative. Now we have to write equation of motion. So what is equation of motion? So for m1 mass, this is positive, this is negative, different directions. So m1 x1 double dot minus k into x2 minus x1 is equals to 0. So after simplifying, we get m1 x1 double dot minus plus k x1 minus k x2 is equals to 0. So this is first equation of motion. Second, m2 x2, this is positive also and this is also positive. So this is positive, this is positive. So m2 x2 double dot plus k into x2 minus x1 is equals to 0. So that will get so m2 x2 double dot plus k, sorry, this is minus k x1 plus k x2 is equals to 0. This is equation number 2. Now, assuming that the masses m1 and m2 will execute the differential equation, execute a harmonic motion with at an frequency of omega, the solution x1 and x2 under steady state condition are given by, that is, x1 is equals to capital X1 sine of omega t and x2 is equals to capital X2 sine of omega t. So these are the same. So x1 is equals to capital X1 sine of omega t and capital x2 is equal to capital X2 sine of omega t. Now we have to find out acceleration, that is x1 double dot and x2 double dot. Now x1 double dot is equals to double differentiating of this equation, so that becomes minus x1 omega square sine of omega t, and x2 double dot is becomes minus x2 omega square sine of omega t. Now substituting equation 3 and 4 in equation number 1, so we get, so what is your equation number 1? That is m1 x1 double dot, so m1 into x1 double dot, that is minus capital X1 omega square sine of omega t, so minus m1 x1 omega square sine of omega t plus k x1, so k into x1, so what is value of small x1? Capital X1 sine of omega t, minus k into x2, so what is value of x2? X2 is equal to capital X2 sine of omega t. Again sine of omega t get cancelled. Again x1 term is common, so we taken k minus m1 omega square into x1, which is equals to minus k to x2 goes to this side, so that becomes k x2. So x1 upon x2 becomes k upon k minus m1 omega square. Similarly, substitute equation number 3 and 4 in equation number 2. So what will happen? m2 x2 double dot, so m2 x2 double dot is capital X2 omega square sine of omega t and minus k into x1, so what is value of x1? Capital X1 sine of omega t plus k2 k into x2 sine of omega t is equals to 0. So we have putted the value of x1 double dot, then value of x1 and the value of x2 in your equation number 2. So again this capital X1 x2, there are two terms of x2, so k minus m2 omega square into x2. Now this minus kx1 goes to right hand side, so that becomes kx1. So we get x1 upon x2 is equal to k minus m2 omega square upon x1. So this term goes to this side, so k goes to this side, so k upon m2 omega square upon k. Now this is equation number 5 and this is your equation number 6. Now left hand side are equal, therefore right hand side also are equal. So k upon k minus m1 omega square is equals to k minus m2 omega square upon k. So again cross multiplication, we get this bracket into this bracket. So k minus m1 omega square into k minus m2 omega square is equal to k into k. So that is k after cross multiplication. So we get k square. Now k into k square minus k into m2 omega square. So minus k m2 omega square. Again minus m1 omega square into k. So that become minus k m1 omega square plus. Now minus m1 omega square into minus m2 omega square. Minus minus plus. So plus m1 m2 omega raised to 4 is equal to k square. Again k square and k square get cancelled. So your remaining term is only this m1 m2 omega raised to 4 and this term. Again in that omega square is constant and minus sign is common. Sorry, omega square and minus sign is common. So m1 m2 omega raised to 4 minus m1 plus m2 k omega square is equals to 0. So again divide m1 m2 to this side. So we get omega raised to 4 minus m1 plus m2 divided by m1 m2 k omega square. So this is your final differential equation. Now we have to find out the natural frequency. Now put the value of k, m1 and m2. So after putting all that value, so put the value of m1 as 20 kg, m2 as 35 kg, and k as 3000 Newton per meter. So we get omega raised to 4 minus 20 plus 35 into 3000 divided by 20 into 35 into omega square is equals to 0. So omega raised to 4 minus 235.71 omega square is equals to 0. Now in that there is no term c. So your equation is ax square plus bx plus c, but your equation is direct in omega raised to 4 and omega square. So there is no term c. So your omega square terms becomes minus b. So minus minus plus 235.71 plus or minus square root of b square. So 230.71 square minus 4. The value of a is 1 and value of c is 0. So that term 0 divided by twice a. Now value of a is 1. So 2 into 1 that becomes 2. So after that we get, so this 235.71 divided by 2 plus or minus, now square root of 235, that becomes 230.71 divided by 2. Now one value is plus, another value is minus. So if we take the first minus value, so that becomes 0, because this 235.71 divided by 2 minus 235.71 divided by 2, so that becomes 0. And second value becomes 235.71 divided by 2 plus 235.71 divided by 2, so that becomes 235.71. So after square root we get the value of omega n1 as 0 and omega n2 as 15.35 radian per second. So this is your natural frequency of the systems. So there are two natural frequencies, omega n1 as 0 and omega n2 as 15.35 radian per second. Now we have to find out mode shapes. The second point is we have to find out mode shapes and we have to draw mode shapes. Now it is seen that if one of the natural frequency of the system is 0, then system is not vibrating. The system is non-vibrating. Therefore, there is no relative motions between two masses m1 and m2. So the system can be moved as rigid body. Such system is known as semi-definite system. So what is meant by semi-definite system? If one of the natural frequency, if in 2 degree freedom system there are two natural frequency, but one of the natural frequency has value 0, so that system is non-vibrating. So there is no relative motion between both masses, that is m1 and m2. So the system can be moved as a rigid body. So such system is known as semi-definite system. Now ratio of amplitude, you can take any one. So I will take this equation, that is x1 upon x2 is equal to k upon k minus m1 omega square. So that is your equation number. This is your equation number, say 5. That is x1 upon x2 is equals to k upon k minus m1 omega square. So for ratio of amplitude, we take this equation. So x1 upon x2, that is k upon k minus m1 omega square. Now we have to find out the first amplitude ratio. So for first amplitude ratio, we have to put the value of omega square as omega n1 square. Now the value of omega n1 square is 0. So 0 into m1, that becomes 0. So k upon k, it is the 1. So first mode shape is 1. And the second mode shape, that is x1 upon x2, k upon k minus m1 omega n2 square. We have to replace omega square by omega n2 square. that will give us second mode shape. So K upon K minus M1 omega into square. So 3000 upon 3000 minus 20 into 235.71. So that becomes minus 1.75. So these are the ratio of amplitudes for two natural frequency. This is first ratio of amplitude for first frequency, that is 1, and second ratio of amplitude, that is x1 upon x2, is minus 1.75 for second natural frequency. So next we have to draw the principal mode of vibrations. So principal mode. Now your system is horizontal system. In that there is x1 and x2. There is a mass. This is also in mass, and there is x1 and x2. So the x1 term, so this is your point. Now x1, now in first x1 upon x2 is equals to 1. So that is the term x1 is equals to x2. So take x2 as 1 unit. So we get the value of x1 as again 1 unit. So this is value of x1 as 1 unit. This is value of x2 as 1 unit. So draw this diagram. So this is the first mode shape. Now for second mode shapes, the value of x2 is taken as 1. So if value of x2 is taken as 1, so then value of x1 is taken as minus 1.75. So I will take the value of x1 as 1. So 1 in 1 unit and positive 1 unit. So I will take on positive 1 unit. So x1 is positive 1 unit. So value of x2 becomes 1 upon minus 1.75. So minus in out of phase. So this is the value of x2. So this is first mode shapes when omega n1 is 0, and second mode shapes which is out of phase. One is one direction, other is in another direction. And this is in phase, so both are in same direction. So this is the mode shapes in case of this diagram or this example. So this diagram shows a mode shapes when the value of ratio of x1 upon x2 is equals to 1, when natural frequency is omega n1 is equals to 0, and this is second mode shapes, and that value is minus 1.75 at natural frequency, that is second natural frequency, 15.35 radian per second, and which are out of phase. One is moving in one direction, other is moving with another direction. But in that diagram there is both displacement are in one directions only. So this is some example or some problem we have seen. That is, we have seen two problems in this lecture. So I will end my lecture, today's lecture. So thank you.